Seeing him work out is pretty interesting because he is so dedicated. He'll go out there for an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, and he does the same thing almost every day. He does not play in the off season. He just works on these games. He's a powerful kid who happens to be one of the league's best defensive players. Offensively, he can really shoot the ball. And when he first came into the league, that's something he couldn't do, but he might be the best two-way player in basketball.
Don't miss the KBLA Sports Minute weekdays and Out of Bounds weekends only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
We fly, no lie, you know this.
Yo, I come from a small city where nothing is handed. Took my talents and made them work for me, look where I landed. I know a lot of those out there really don't want me having it. They just mad that I'm creeping on them and they had advantages. See, when my voice is on, I let my voice be the change. Put it in these communities, let it give them some range. Let them know that they got a shot at anything they want. And it ain't all about the teaching, but really how they responded. And here on KBLA Talk 1580, we gon' get into it. The whole world on Smiley out of your media. The others tell it, but they truths have some limits. We got that food for soul, now what they feeding you. Black lives matter all the time. Yeah, let's talk about it. About the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, let's talk about it. Police brutality out of line. Yeah, let's talk about it. All these thoughts running through my mind. We gotta talk about it. I am unapologetically progressive in efforts to fight for the people. Gotta exercise our voting rights and then push the needle. I'm walking tall, cause I know that y'all expect me to lead. To push the message I am willing to bleed. I gotta get what I need. That's social reform, that's prison reform. I'm highly informed, don't put down a pen. I got a list, I can't resist. I preach it till I talk with a list. And who you know gon' give it to you like this? And here on KBLA Talk 1580, we gon' get into it. The whole world on Smiley out of your media. The others tell it, but they truths have some limits to it. We got that food for soul, now what they feeding you. Black lives matter all the time. Yeah, let's talk about it. About the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, let's talk about it. Police brutality out of line. Yeah, let's talk about it. All these thoughts running through my mind. We gotta talk about it.
You know, Andy, I might need a little extra time on this one tonight. Yeah, man, let's talk about it. We got a lot to talk about right here. KBLA Talk 1580. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show, the whole 9 of the nighttime, right at 9. You know, I had an entirely different topic of conversation to blaze up tonight. I told Robin and Andy upon leaving last night that I wanted to pose a question to our listeners every night this week that asks for each of you to take each question presented and try to place themselves in another person's shoes. Why? Because I believe that many of us in the black community have lost sight of the foxhole mentality, and I want my mini social experiment to be a mechanism that allows us all to see life through another person's lens. And to also place ourselves in front of a mirror instead of turning the mirror on those who may be going through a personal crisis while simultaneously passing out judgment on those people accordingly, and in most cases, unfairly. And based on the enlightening conversation we had on the true definition of infidelity and the complexities associated with honoring the vows you likely gave during your matrimonial ceremonies, I think it's safe to say that we're off to a good start. But earlier today, I was honored and blessed to be welcomed by the incomparable Dr. Melina Abdullah to be the moderator for a Black Lives Matter grassroots press briefing where a number of brilliant thought leaders came together to discuss the tremendous progress of BLM grassroots and what's next for the movement in the near and long-term futures. We haven't unpacked an officer-involved shooting on this broadcast in a few weeks, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring an extremely important portion of that briefing to the Danny Mo Show tonight. In an effort to eliminate the demand for a cultural shift around police interaction with the black community, and to also continue my due diligence in keeping you all informed on what's going on with us. For those unaware, 15-year-old, yeah, you heard me, 15-year-old Jaheim McMillan was murdered by police in Gulfport, Mississippi last month. According to CNN, reports state that the police answered a 911 call on October 6 concerning, quote, multiple people in a vehicle brandishing firearms, end quote, when police arrived. The group of people allegedly attempted to flee from the area. An officer fired at the presumed armed suspect, keyword there, presumed, who they claim pointed the weapon in their direction. That suspect was identified as 15-year-old Jaheim McMillan. The entire community is in shock, but probably not surprised at a young teenage boy having his life taken from him by the hands of local law enforcement. The case is still unraveling as we speak, but community members and leaders have rallied around Jaheim's mother, Katrina Mateen, demanding answers on why her young boy had to be taken that day. And to add additional perspective on this still ongoing case, WWL-TV Channel 4 in New Orleans was on the case just before young Jaheim tragically passed away. Listen.
Taking her grief to social media, Katrina Mateen is dealing with the shooting of her 15-year-old son, Jaheim McMillan, who was shot in the head Thursday during a shooting involving Gulfport police.
Why?
It happened after Police Chief Adam Cooper says there were reports of people pointing guns at passing cars. He says the car those people were in was pulled over near this Family Dollar on Pass Road.
They then fled from the vehicle. One of our officers engaged with an armed individual. Shots were fired. He was taken to the suspect was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound.
While Cooper wouldn't confirm it, Mateen said it was a bullet from an officer that hit her son. She questions the police account of her son being armed and says the shooting left him brain dead. After a couple of days on life support, he was taken off it over the weekend, a reality Mateen hoped wouldn't happen.
I feel like he's got a chance, and I'm not going to pull the plug on him. You know, he can come back maybe, and if he can, I'm going to give him that chance.
Justice for Jaheim!
Sunday, balloons dotted the sky in his memory. Also over the weekend, at the Family Dollar, candles outside the doors and signs on the windows became part of a vigil.
They doing this for you, baby. We not stopping till we get justice, baby. They took your life, baby. And we ain't stopping.
McMillan had just started his freshman year at Gulfport High School, where Monday, school leaders say counseling services were available to students who need them. Since the shooting, the story has spread across social media, including photos of McMillan in the hospital and a Facebook Live video of who appears to be McMillan lying on the ground, motionless after being shot.
We're outraged, we're heartbroken, tired is not the word, we're past tired.
It's all left a community wanting answers they say they're not getting.
A past tired. Heartbreaking. Yes, young Jaheim was taken off life support just days after Gulfport police shot him in the head outside a Family Dollar store, and his relatives are questioning the officer's actions. Jaheim's mother, Katrina Mateen, told WLOX-TV that when she arrived at the store after her son was shot, officers had the audacity to handcuff her and walk her across the street. In a video taken by a bystander after the shots were fired, young Jaheim could be seen on the ground in front of the door of the store, and the community and Jaheim's family are now calling for a boycott of Family Dollar, claiming that there's been a lack of support from the grocery chain. I will be sure to keep you all informed as things progress. My heart goes out to Jaheim's mother, Katrina Mateen, the family, and that whole community out there. Prayers to all involved, man. Now, what troubles me about this case isn't just the obvious. Yes, anytime you hear that law enforcement guns down an unarmed African-American, especially a minor, visions of Tamir Rice immediately starts dancing within every African-American's head, huh? Trust me, I know, and rightly so. But I'm also really troubled and even infuriated by the fact that once again, law enforcement is now working to cloud, stifle, and drag out the investigation as long as they can, because they have learned by now that we black people eventually will become distracted by other things. As we always do. For example, why should you, considering that just 2 weeks ago, why should you care? A judge sentenced a white Philadelphia police officer to only 2 years in prison in the 2017 fatal shooting of an unarmed black man, far less than the decades behind bars he potentially faced, Officer Eric Rutch Jr. shot and killed 25-year-old Dennis Plowden Jr. 6 seconds after arriving on the scene as Plowden sat on the sidewalk upon crashing a car during a high-speed chase. He was fired from the department months later. Rutch, 34 years old, was charged in 2020 and convicted in September of voluntary manslaughter and a weapons charge. The voluntary manslaughter charge usually carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, but during a sentencing, this crooked judge named Barbara McDermott said Rutch had, quote, demonstrated good behavior since he was charged, and a longer sentence wouldn't offer him any rehabilitation. And check this out. The sentence also includes parole eligibility and carries no financial penalties. But so what, huh? Why should we worry about that case when the Lakers are playing better? Why should we worry about that case? Dave Chappelle was on Saturday Night Live. Put that on YouTube. Why should we worry about that case when Will Smith's new movie, Emancipation, it's going to hit Apple TV next month? Gotta see it, man. And it's hard to argue with their stereotypical assessment of our short-term social justice memories. Considering the shenanigans of Kyrie and Kanye have dwarfed the coverage of the killing of Jaheim McMillan over the past 30 days, and it's not even close. He was shot a month ago. But be that as it may, these cops are still liars, man. Make no mistake. Often, not all of them. Not in every situation. But the same way we African Americans are guilty until proven innocent, in this country, we should also start saying that cops are lying until the facts come out. Almost all the time. Within every case that's committed here in America, that's not hyperbole, that's real. You've heard me proclaim before, and I'm going to do it again tonight. It is my belief that almost 100% of the time, especially when we African Americans are involved, be it a murder, an assault, grand theft auto, or a simple traffic stop, police officers will damn near contort their bodies and their stories so much in order to, 1, make sure their reasoning for apprehending, brutalizing, or even killing a suspect is fashioned in a way that finds themselves innocent. 2, even when they're obviously foul for illegally pulling a suspect over, unjustly entering our personal residence, or aggressively approaching us for questioning in public, construct a false reason on why they did. 3, ensure that the suspect is charged and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, sometimes even planting evidence to do so. And 4, even when they're caught red-handed by using excessive force against African Americans, will sit on the stand and use the old go-to quote. Y'all have heard it before. I feared for my life. Using that phrase to make sure they get to go home to their families. All in an effort to back the blue and protect their own. As a matter of fact, WXYZ TV in Detroit highlighted the lies of their local police department and how it can affect not only the case in question, but the credibility of that officer's police reports in the past. Listen.
Well, we all know a police officer's word is their strongest weapon and can be the difference between an accused criminal going free or going to prison.
But what happens when an officer's word is no good? The 7 investigators have been digging into what happens when an officer lies and the real-life consequences that go with it.
7 investigator Ross Jones is here now with what he has uncovered.
Carolyn, Dave, what if suspected criminals were walking free because of something that had nothing to do with what they were accused of? Well, it's happening, and Detroit's police chief says it's leaving bad guys out on the street.
We're talking about a violent gang member. They couldn't go forward on that case.
Our investigation reveals that Detroit police officers on the force today have been found by the department to have lied on the job. The lies are as serious as covering up the abuse of a citizen to as minor as lying about sleeping on the job. But regardless of how big or small the lie may seem, it can derail their credibility and any criminal case they've worked on. And when those same officers are key witnesses in criminal cases, county and federal prosecutors have recently dropped the cases entirely. If a cop lies, a criminal can go free?
Absolutely.
And in some cases has gone free.
And if cases are being dismissed because of a history, even if it's one lie, a history of sustained misconduct, then how?
Tomorrow on 7 Action News at 6, we'll show you the lies that have gotten cops in trouble, the chief's new policy that says if you lie, you lose your job, and the pushback it's already received from the police union. Our full investigation airs tomorrow on 7 Action News at 6.
Huh? Did you hear that? Huh? If you lie, you lose your job, receiving pushback from the police union. Even when the lie often causes for young brothers to lose their freedom, it's receiving pushback from the police union. Even when the lie sometimes costs young brothers their lives, it is still receiving pushback from the police union. How many black men are in jail because of a crooked cop's lies right now? How many are 6 feet under because some crooked cops made a blunder? Think about it. In conclusion, police officers will lie, cheat, obscure, make things up, victim blame, and deceive. Why, you ask? Because they can. And even when they're caught with their hands in the cookie jar with witnesses and video proof, as the system is currently constructed, they know that there will be zero institutional pushback or consequences. The Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, and MAGA crowds believe them to be infallible, except on January 6th, of course, right? And they also know that they will get very little criticism from either city officials or the media. Because the city's gonna pay the bill anyway. Especially since we've yet to end qualified immunity. Look it up. And it's all contortions. It's all embellishments. It's all lies. And it's rather ironic that total transparency is the very problem that has historically and still currently exists regarding the relationship between the black community and law enforcement. Because their lack of honesty is where the problem lies. But that's just me. Tell me what you think, LA. Have you heard about the killing of Jaheim McMillan, huh? What are your thoughts on the shooting? What's your opinion on what steps need to be taken to get some answers sooner rather than later? Marches, boycotts, where should they go from here? And what's your opinion on the questionable honesty of a lot of law enforcement? We all lie. We lie on our taxes. We lie about our weight. We lie about our age. Robin even lies thinking she won a versus battle. All lies, but we ain't gonna get into that. But what percentage of police officers do you believe have lied on the police report? Huh? What should happen to the officer and the cases he or she has or has been involved with? Past and current. Holla at your boy. Your voice has changed, your voice is community, your voice is on. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. You can also stream us via the brand new KBLA streaming app on your app store, iOS or Android. It don't matter. That same app allows you to send me your questions and comments that I will answer live at different intervals throughout the broadcast. Plus, like, share, and follow your favorite radio station live on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KBLA 1580. Feel free to follow me at Danny Mo Show on those same platforms too. Plus, me and my leather-suited partner in crime, Robin Ayers, will take your comments via the ecosystem of our social network. Check this out. When we come forward, I will add another 7 series to add to the topic of conversation tonight. Look, there's always a ton of questions from the family and the community when an officer takes the life of an African-American. But the Jaheim McMillan case has more than usual. At least from my standpoint. That's why my 7 series tonight is 7 questions I have for the Gulfport Police Department regarding the killing of Jaheim McMillan. I anticipate multiple lies from that department incoming. Give it time. It's coming. So allow me to present my questions that they could perhaps give answers to in advance. I'll give them my list on the other side. Add to the conversation with your phone calls when we come forward. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show on unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Let's ride.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Congratulations to this week's KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week, LA County Department of Children and Family Services. LA County Department of Children and Family Services promotes child safety and well-being by partnering with communities to strengthen family. Congratulations, LA County DCFS.
Over 100 million people around the world have felt the thrill of Broadway's most spectacular musical, Disney's The Lion King. And now you can too. Experience this breathtaking theatrical event and see why the New York Times declares there is simply nothing else like it.
Give the gift that roars at the Pantages Theater, February 2nd through March 26th. Visit BroadwayInHollywood.com.
On Saturday, December 3rd, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., come out and enjoy a free community health fair, co-sponsored by Pleasant Hill Baptist Church Health Ministry and the Central Neighborhood Health Foundation. The fair will be held on the church grounds at 2009 West Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, with free health screenings, refreshments, jumpers for the kids, a visit from Santa, entertainment with a DJ, free food giveaway for the first 100 people who attend, as well as raffles and other prizes. There will also be open enrollment, health insurance representatives present. Attendees can get free blood pressure, glucose, HIV and STD testing, a dental screening, fluoride varnish, COVID testing, vaccines and boosters. Flu shots will also be offered. Housing navigation, mental health support, and education services will be available. Don't miss this free community health fair. Tell somebody and receive the gift of preventative health services this season. See you all on Saturday, December 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 2009 West Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Los Angeles.
It's pro time because at Lowe's, it's Provember. Save big with inventory you can count on, like Flex products or DeWalt power tools starting at just $99. Plus, Lowe's MVPs members earn up to 3 times bonus points per dollar on select items. Save all Provember long. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. MVP's Pro Rewards Program. Terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/L/Pro Loyalty Terms. Subject to change. Prices valid from 10/17/22 to 2/3/23 or until supplies last.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to announce a can't-miss community event.
It's a celebration.
Welcome home, Mayor-elect Karen Bass.
You gotta be kidding me.
On Saturday, December 10th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., join KBLA Talk 1580 in Leimert Park at the intersection of Leimert and Vernon for this free public event as we celebrate Mayor-elect Bass's historic victory. There'll be entertainment, food trucks, and a diverse array of vendors, along with attendance and participation from community leaders, elected officials, celebrities, business owners, and other notables. KBLA Talk 1580 will host Mayor-elect Bass on the main stage at 11 a.m. as we reflect on the importance of this moment and what it means for the Black community, women, and all Angelinos who believe in the limitless potential of our amazing city. We look forward to celebrating with Mayor-elect Karen Bass and you, Saturday, December 10th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the intersection of Leimert and Vernon. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on now.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
We are broadcasting live from Leimert Park, California, streaming live on the KBLA YouTube page as we speak. Hi, Mimi. We see you on YouTube. I'm not here to tell you how to think, but I am here to tell you what to think about. We black in the spot, another episode of the Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. First on the scene, so fresh and so clean. Let's check in with the queen. I mean, hit it, Eddie. Let's go. What we doing? Kings from Queens from Kings, because you're tougher than leather. I forgot that song.
Oh, that's why you said that.
Never mind.
I don't know. Who is that?
That's Run DMC. You're supposed to know.
I'm sorry. Okay. No. Well, I guess no.
That's Run DMC. Tougher than leather.
Okay.
Album. It's okay.
Come on, Mr. Trivia. Oh, you okay? I thought you're just giving your grade on it. You said it's just okay.
It was weird when that album came out because Raising Hell just took over the entire world.
Right.
But hip hop started changing. And that album, I think, was immersed within the shift that hip hop went on.
Oh, okay.
Because here comes NWA and here comes it was just different.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so speaking of which, no, not yet.
Oh shoot!
Not yet.
Okay.
No, not yet.
That's where you were going.
Oh my goodness! But let's say a prayer that we get DMC to come in here into the studio. He said he would. He gave his word. I don't know when he's coming back to LA.
I will pee.
When he does, we have to get him back in here.
I will pee on myself and everybody else in here.
I know. I'm sure you will. Okay, so but I was saying on that note, versus battle for sure. We got to do hip hop. 90s classic hip hop.
Andy, what you think?
Our next verse is
I
battle.
think it's fire. Andy doesn't approve.
Why?
I'm
90s
surprised.
90s classic hip hop?
I'm surprised. I love it. I'm surprised he doesn't.
What? Okay. We'll talk about it later.
We're going to do a versus on Thursday that I will win, as usual. And
Come on.
Mimi just said on YouTube that you won the last versus battle.
Thank you, Mimi. See, Mimi, I already knew. We a vibe.
Somebody send Mimi a random drug test tonight. Send it to her.
Mimi knows music.
Mimi, we appreciate you. I am playing. What's going on with the Raw Report tonight?
Definitely. I'm excited to talk about the business news today. Actually, I'm excited to bring a few things to the Raw Report tonight.
Ooh.
For anybody who's looking to go to Africa, Ghana in particular.
Me.
Okay. Well, then we have some news for you. There's some lawsuits going on. It's a bunch of things going on that we'll get to.
The Raw Report is coming up at the top of the hour. Don't forget, in the third hour, we might bring you a few more of the Upon Further Review clips that you all have sent us over the past few days, clips that extend the conversation on some of the topics we've touched on recently on the Danny Mo Show. Same ones from last night that we never got to because the conversation was just too spicy to do it. You know what I'm saying? We've got a clip on male masculinity coupled with female emotional tendencies, as a young man named Russell the Magnificent believes that's the reason that black men are killing each other. The second one is a young woman breaks down how she never should have to spend her money because her man's money is her money too. Yeah, I'm doing my neck. Am I doing my neck the right way?
I don't know.
Very stereotypical, I know. And the third one is a powerful one from a woman that equates living as a black person in America is almost the same as playing the game of Monopoly with someone who keeps cheating at the game. Upon Further Review clips coming in the third hour after the Raw Report. In the meantime and in between times, follow us on all socials, please. Like, share, comment, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Tell your friends and family to do the same. But tonight, we are unpacking the killing of Jaheim McMillan in Gulfport, Mississippi. What are your thoughts on the shooting, and what's your opinion on the questionable honesty of law enforcement there and, to be honest, everywhere? What percentage of cops do you believe have lied on a police report, and what should happen to the officer and the cases he or she is involved with? That's a lot to unpack. So you take it wherever you want to take it. What are your feelings about this case in general?
I'm saddened that obviously there's not enough, I guess, publicity around what's happening with Jaheim McMillan. But on the flip side, I wonder, there's a couple of things that I think about. One, are we desensitized or do we just not know? Because there are a lot. I actually just uncovered another story where there was something else in Mississippi. As a matter of fact, it was like some rural area in Mississippi where there was another shooting of a cop with an unarmed black man who had tinted his window tints were too dark. They wound up tussling. The cop never told him what he was told the man what he was being pulled over for. But the point is, locally they knew what happened and they were protesting there. But I had never even heard the story. So I think it's twofold. I mean, there's so much more to talk about with this story. But I just wonder if we just don't know, if not enough people know, and if we do know about it, do we think that there's anything we can do?
Should we, as a black show on a black radio station, be taken to task that we have given more attention to Kyrie and Kanye than this story? It happened a month ago.
Okay, right. This is true. I had only heard a little bit about it.
Me too.
So then I guess you can't necessarily blame or fault because it would be on their local news to make it a larger story, right? It would be on them to make it more known. Then we could talk about it if we knew some injustices, if we knew more details. But if we don't know, how can we be to blame?
What scares me is the term you've already used. Desensitized. Have we gotten to the point where we go, it's just another one? Is that where we are?
That could be a part of it.
It's terrifying if that's what it is.
Yeah.
News and traffic right now. When we come forward, we continue the discussion on Jaheim McMillan. I've got a 7 series as well, and we will also take your phone calls. 1-800-920-1580. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Stay there.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Senate is passing a landmark same-sex marriage bill. The Respect for Marriage Act was passed on Tuesday afternoon when 12 Republican senators voted along with Democrats to advance the bill, which recognizes gay marriage nationwide. Home prices fell in September compared to what they were in August. That's according to the latest reading from the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Index. They dropped by 1% across the country, which marks the third month in a row of declines. The city of Houston lifted a boil water notice, but kids still didn't go to school today. The emergency notice was ordered after a power outage caused a drop in pressure. The all clear came this morning, but it was too late to get the kids back in class. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the Accident Guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? Call the Accident Guys. Because unlike other firms, an attorney will negotiate your case, not a paralegal.
They're playing basketball.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson. The NBA is back, and everybody is talking about what to expect this year. Here's the logo, Laker legend Jerry West on KBLA Talk 1580, talking about LA Clippers superstar Kawhi Leonard.
Oh my gosh, he's a stud, man. He really is. And watching him work out is pretty interesting because he is so dedicated. He'll go out there for an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, and he does the same thing almost every day. He does not play in the off season. He just works on his game. He's a powerful kid who happens to be one of the league's best defensive players. Offensively, he can really shoot the ball. And when he first came into the league, that's something he couldn't do, but he might be the best two-way player in basketball.
Don't miss the KBLA Sports Minute weekdays and Out of Bounds weekends only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
We fly, no lie, you know this.
If you're a Los Angeles Department of Water and Power residential customer, listen to this. LADWP now offers convenient monthly billing through the new Level Pay program. Level Pay helps you budget for your utility bill with a predictable monthly amount that can also include past due balances. You'll know exactly how much you need to pay each month. Don't wait. Sign up today for Level Pay by calling 1-800-DIAL-DWP. That's 1-800-DIAL-DWP.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Ew. Stuck in a cycle of rewashing your clothes? Ugh. Because you can't remove tough laundry odor? Ugh. When detergent by itself can't cut it, use new Downy Rinse and Refresh. With a breakthrough odor-removing formula, it removes odors in one wash, better than the leading 3 washes, keeping all your laundry fresh. Now you can break the cycle of rewashing with Downy Rinse and Refresh.
KBLA Talk 1580.
The thrill of victory, the thrill of victory, thrill of victory. Yeah, man.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to congratulate Mayor-elect Karen Bass on her historic win as the first woman and only second African-American to serve as chief executive of the city of Los Angeles.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Bass, and welcome back to Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and this is my very first interview, and I am proud that it's here.
We are proud to have you here. What do you want to say to the listeners of KBLA Talk 1580?
I want to say thank you from just, I'm just full of the love that I felt every place I went in the community. And I just want the listeners to know that I promise you I won't disappoint you. I will be accessible. I will never forget where I'm from, and understand that is my primary motivation.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Karen Bass, holding all leaders accountable to you.
No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you.
We're KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. And we don't black down. We've got a lot to talk about. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
That's the sound of the police.
Oh, yeah.
That's the sound of the beast.
Let's go.
That's the sound of the police.
KRS-One. Boogie Down Productions.
That's the sound of the beast.
Let's go.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police.
You gotta give me a verse, you know that.
That's the sound of the beast.
Come on. This is when hip-hop was hip-hop. Almost half of it was socially conscious back in the 1980s. Let's go, come on.
Stand clear, done man attack. You can't stand where I stand, you can't walk where I walk. Watch out, we run New York. Policeman come, we bust them out the park. I know this for a fact, you don't like how I act. You claim I'm selling crack, but you be doing that. I'd rather say see ya, cause I would never be ya. Be your officer, your wicked overseer. Your hot shot, wanna get pops and be a savior. First show a little respect, change your behavior, change your attitude, change your plan. There could never really be justice on stolen land. Are you really for peace and equality? Or when my car's hooked up, you know you wanna follow me. Your laws are minimal, cause you won't even think about looking at the real criminal. This has got to cease, cause we be getting hyped to the sound of the police. That's the sound of the police.
KRS-One.
That's the sound of the
19. Woo!
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
KRS-One, 1987. Come on. Ooh!
You did it?
No.
Oh.
88? 89? Oh, it's not 89. In the 1990s?
It's 89?
90? Come on.
92.
1? 3?
93? Oh.
That could be the most off I've ever been.
Probably.
I said 87, it was 93. 6 years later?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Return of the Boom Bap, 1993.
You're right. That's exactly what it is. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the... Oh, I love that song. By the way, that's also the sound of Danny after Thanksgiving in the bathroom. Bloop, bloop.
That's a terrible joke.
That's the sound of Danny.
That is
bloop,
a terrible joke. Oh, my goodness.
Hide the kitties.
Especially if you keep eating it 5 days after.
Andy, we trying to tell Andy. I got a couple DMs on that, by the way. And
I did a whole poll on my Instagram stories. I said, is it 2 days, 3 days, or 5?
Mm-hmm.
Most people said 2, actually. It was like 30-something% said
exactly
2.
Is it clean? Okay, let's run through that real quick here. This is what Plies. Plies, an artist from the early 2000s. He had a hit or two. But he has become very popular on social media, just going on rants from his car. This is what he had to say. KBLA's own D.L. Hughley posted this a couple days ago, and I figured I'd bring it to the broadcast. This is what he had to say about Thanksgiving leftovers. Listen.
Now I'm finna go ahead and explain to some of y'all what I just had to tell my mama. Because some of y'all don't think you supposed to throw the leftovers away. At some point, the leftovers got an expiration date on them. It's a cap on the leftovers. You just can't keep eating them leftovers as long as you want to, man. Some of y'all might want to write this down, because I'm finna give you the calendar and the itinerary for these leftovers.
Write it down, Andy.
You cooked the food on Wednesday night. Thursday, you ate the food. Friday, that's when it was its best.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, you're pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, ain't no more leftovers, man. Monday, you tripping. Tuesday, your ass getting worms if you still eating them leftovers.
That's right.
Wednesday, hospital.
Facts.
Thursday, dead. That's the bottom line for these leftovers.
Real talk.
Because some of y'all think you can just eat the leftovers how long you want to eat them. It don't work like that with the leftovers, man. It's an expiration date on them leftovers. Keep them for a couple days and get them out your refrigerator.
And what did your poll say, Queen?
30-something%, I don't have it anymore, but 30-something% said 2 days only. Then the next was 3 days. Only maybe 2%, or I mean, it was a very small percentage of people who said 5 days.
I'm disappointed in you, Andy. I'm not eating your food anymore.
What more do you want from me?
To throw the Thanksgiving dinner away.
To keep the food fresh. I don't think that's asking too much. But in spite of that, let's jump right into the 7 series, a serious one. Let's go. Come on.
One topic, 7 answers. It's time for the 7 series on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yes, sir. There's always a ton of questions from the family and the community when an officer takes the life of an African-American, but the Jaheim McMillan case has more than usual, at least from my standpoint. That's why my 7 series tonight is 7 questions I have for the Gulfport Police Department regarding the killing of Jaheim McMillan. I anticipate multiple lies from that department incoming, so allow me to present my questions that they could perhaps give answers to in advance. And I'll give them to you right now. You want to join the discussion, you know how we put it down for the town. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. 7 questions I have for the Gulfport Police Department regarding the killing of Jaheim McMillan. Here's number 1. Is it fair for me to assume that Jaheim McMillan didn't have a weapon, because we definitely would have seen that surveillance footage by now? Huh? Reports say the law enforcement are currently going through the proper channels by weighing the evidence to present it to the public at a reasonable date. But something tells me that if Jaheim did have a weapon on him, as they are claiming, we would be seeing it all the time, all over social media and the news. Why? They would rush that footage out immediately. You would have seen it on that night's evening news, even, in my opinion. And that is the first question I have for the Gulfport Police Department regarding the killing of Jaheim McMillan. Number 2, where's the weapon? That should be number 1. Police claim they shot Jaheim because he and his friends were allegedly pointing guns at passers-by. Surely they didn't take the phone call reporting the incident at face value, right? Surely they saw him with a gun, right? Surely they instructed him to drop the weapon, right? Surely after shooting him, they seized the weapon he allegedly had, right? I'm willing to bet not. And that is the second question I have for the Gulfport Police Department regarding the killing of Jaheim McMillan.
Let me make my point here.
Go for it.
The difficulty that I'm having, I absolutely 100% stand with every victim, especially unarmed victim who's been shot, and especially fatally shot by the police, right? I stand with that. The problem that I'm having is that I see another side of this too, where if you get it, so there's a couple of times that I've had encounters with the police. Actually, a couple of them stand out positively in my mind, where you thank God that the police are there, right? And so for this case, say I'm driving by and I see some 15 to 18-year-old kids in a car, and they're, pointing weapons at me. And I want to call the police because, number 1, you frightened me. Number 2, what are you doing? Number 3, why aren't y'all at home? You know what I mean? Like, there's all these different reasons. But I call the police. Where's your mama? Exactly. And these young guys are out here. Apparently, somebody has a gun. We don't know all the details yet, obviously, of this case. But I think we're all kind of speculating or just putting pieces of the puzzle together, right? So say that's you, and you call the police because you want some sort of justice because they just pointed a gun at you. You want them to come out, and you want them to handle the business with these kids, right? So then they get a call that there are kids who are armed, and so you're already heightened. You're already on edge, especially considering this is sort of a consistent conversation that we're having. Police are afraid of young black men, especially in the community, especially when we rise up against them and we're upset with them because we don't like the police and the police don't like us. And it's all this tension. Of course, we keep talking about how the changes need to be made within the community. So many different changes need to be made, and we can list them all out later. But I'm just saying, Where's that happy medium? I can kind of see both sides of the situation. If I'm a cop and I know that I'm arriving to a situation where you don't know who's got the gun, you don't, and they all break out, right? They all break out, they take off, and you're running after somebody. You think you see the one who has the gun. Again, I don't know too much about this case for me to like, I'm not standing on this. I'm just, again, I'm talking about it's more situational. Like, I'm like, if I'm the cop and I see someone running and I think he has the gun and I'm already scared, is it my life or is it yours?
All fair. Everything that you said is fair. But I think most people will ask, where does de-escalation begin? What happens from the moment they arrive on site to the point where they kill that young man?
Well, the problem is there's usually not space for de-escalation when it comes to, again, black males and cops. There's not a de-escalation process because we're already afraid. Think about every movie that you've seen. When the cops arrive, everybody breaks out. Everybody's trying to run away, get away, and if they feel like, and you've seen it, and we know that this happens. If you're strapped, you're going to do what you have to do. Again, in quotations, you think that you got to do what you got to do to spare your life or not go to jail, right? So we've seen it happen. We've seen where our people are shooting at cops. Our people are putting their lives in danger as well. This is not condoning what the cops do by any means. I'm just saying there is no de-escalation process when it comes to I'm arriving. I got a phone call. Somebody's strapped, pointing it at people. Where is that? What do we do there?
But has there been enough doubt? Has there been enough lies told throughout history, just over the last 50 years or so, that shows that cops are willing to lie about any incident in order to get off?
100%.
We can't take them at face value because they've shown us they're not going to be honest about every situation.
What do they do in that situation? What do they do?
I don't think we have the answers tonight.
Right. Well, but this is my problem.
But shooting a young man in the head is not the answer.
I agree with you. However, right? There is a however, because we're saying we're both saying the same thing in that we don't know the answer. We don't know where to go with this. But if I'm always taking a look at if that were me, if that were my kid driving by, my husband driving by, my sister driving by, my family member driving by, and some kids are pointing a gun at them, and I call the police, I want the police to show up, get the kid, get the gun, obviously not kill or even shoot, hopefully, right?
Right.
Where is that fine line? Where is that de-escalation? How do they show up without there being a shooting? Cops have to go through a complete training, a whole other type of, it has to be they have to figure something out in order to retrain the whole entire law enforcement. In order to properly deal with situations like this, I just don't know what proper is when you have the community that's already like this and the cops that are already like this. Where is that line? That's all I'm saying. Who's right and who's wrong? I agree with you. There needs to be... oh my God, I get so frustrated time and time again when I see the cops shooting these unarmed black men especially. I get so frustrated. I get so mad. I see the videos pop up. I get angry as well, right? What do we do as citizens? What do we do? And then also, what do we do when they actually they properly show up in order to take care of a situation and they're fearful?
I think if that young man was proven to have a gun on his person, I think this is a different conversation. At this moment, there's no gun.
But
did he toss it? Did he bury it?
Sure.
Very possible.
You're right about that.
But if he has no gun on his person, is this a different conversation for you?
It could be. That's definitely a different conversation. But I also think that it holds weight that you got to call that somebody has a gun and has been pointing. That holds weight.
But keep in mind, that same weight was applied to Tamir Rice, who got gunned down with a toy gun.
But how did they know that it was a toy gun?
De-escalation!
Again, I agree with you. I agree with you. Where is the de-escalation is what I'm asking. I'm not taking the cop's side here.
I know you're not.
You're
being very fair.
Yeah, I'm asking where is the there's so many different parts of this process that we have to break down here that we have to get the message out to the world. We all need to be on the same page. We all need to figure this thing out. Definitely starting with the police, but also starting with our people. Again, parents, where are you with your kids?
Look,
where are you with your kids?
Where is your son? I don't care how old he is.
Yeah.
Where's your son?
Especially though, if you have underage kids. Why are they out there in the streets at night in a car with friends pointing guns at people.
As you all can tell, it's an emotional conversation tonight. Join the discussion. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. Talking Jaheim McMillan and you and perhaps all of us. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Yvonne Wheeler appointed new president of the LA County Federation of Labor. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. November 21st made it official. Yvonne Wheeler was elected the new president of the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor. The historic unanimous vote by her peers makes Wheeler the first ever Black woman to hold the title, and this makes her one of the most influential people in Los Angeles politics. The LA Fed is the second largest central labor body in the nation. It's a federation of over 300 affiliated union and labor organizations that represent more than 800,000 members. LA Fed is known for fighting better wages, establishing respect in the workplace, and the vast political influence their endorsements hold. Wheeler's election comes in the wake of a political scandal involving former LA Fed President Ron Herrera and 3 city council members where they were recorded making racist remarks during a meeting about redistricting. Follow KBLA on social media at KBLA 1580.
You're the victim of a car accident. Who goes to bat for you is crucial. We're MVP Accident Attorneys, the personal injury pros. Hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve, our team hits it out of the park. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review. Call 833-MVP-WINS.
Call on me, your MVP.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
The Institute for Diversity Certification is all about the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. Learn more about our globally recognized diversity certification program today by calling 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192, or visit diversitycertification.org. As the #1 organization for certified diversity professionals and also certified diversity executive credentials, diversitycertification.org will provide an opportunity for you to demonstrate dedication to the field, determination to make progress, and more discipline to your process. Go today and learn more about the diversity certification system. Call 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192. Or go to diversitycertification.org. That's diversitycertification.org. The standard of excellence, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, let's jump back into the 7 Series here. We went on a nice little run there, a much-needed exchange between Robin and myself, but let me see. We're up to number 3, and this is the 7 questions I have for the Gulfport Police Department regarding the killing of Jaheim McMillan. Here's number 3. Where's that body cam footage, huh? We don't want to hear that there was a glitch in the equipment or that it ran out of batteries or that the officer failed to turn it on. We want to see the footage that corroborates the officer's story. And if the body cam wasn't operating during the shooting, we want to see that officer minimally investigated by Internal Affairs and terminated for dereliction of duty. That is the 3rd. Here's number 4. I'm reading reports that the footage is somehow missing from that Family Dollar from October 6th. The day of the shooting. Is that true? And if it is, digital footprints are permanent. Nothing is ever erased entirely. Shouldn't it be able to be recovered regardless? And, by the way, has anyone checked the surrounding businesses to see if their surveillance cameras caught the incident on tape? And is it fair for me to believe that if the cops already do have the raw footage, it might be altered or tampered with while in the cops' possession? That's number 4. Anything? Number 5. Is there any truth to the reports that police officers are patrolling past Jaheim's mother's house in an effort to intimidate her? I hope this isn't true, but according to the International Business Times, Katrina Mateen said that police were trying to intimidate her by driving patrol cars with flashing lights past her house at night. Quote, Gulfport police know who I am and always have. I just want to know why. Why did they have to shoot my son? End quote. Tactics like this aren't uncommon for law enforcement. We know that, huh? Are you guys really trying to scare his mom into silence? Good luck with that, because Katrina looks to be a woman on a mission for answers. That's number 5. Here's number 6. Did these officers really handcuff a young black boy's limp wrists after shooting him in the head? Why? Because a deceased boy might get up and run, huh? Did you perhaps still fear for your life, officers? I'm sure they might claim that they were simply, quote, following law enforcement guidelines, but why are they selective in not using the law enforcement guideline of de-escalation, which is the word of the night prior to the shooting then? That line item of protocol would have been proven effective at that moment, right? And that's the 6th question I have for the Gulfport Police Department regarding the killing of Jaheim McMillan, and here's number 7. We've talked about this on this show before. Why have we never seen police people giving CPR to a shooting victim after a police shooting? Think about that for a minute. Justified or otherwise. If it is their job to protect and to serve, shouldn't one be led to believe that if their actions are what caused the alleged victim to be incapacitated, shouldn't they then do what's possible to now protect and serve even the accused suspect? Or does the protecting and serving end once there's a scuffle involved? I'm just wondering. They shot this young man in the head. Didn't proceed to do any medical procedures at all on this young man. No CPR, no nothing. But they rushed to get cuffs on that cat. Why? And that is the 7th and final question I have for the Gulfport Police Department regarding the killing of Jaheim McMillan.
You know what I would love to see, and I don't think I've ever seen it. The cop responsible for killing an unarmed man, you know how they do these press conferences and you hear from the police chief or something like that. I would love to see the actual cop come up. I know it's dangerous and all of that stuff, but actually like show a human side of himself and, you know, apologize and maybe even explain or something. You know, I know that there's a whole investigation process. I'm talking about ideally in my mind, I would love to see something like that where you could see that it affected him. He's truly apologetic and emotional over the fact that he took someone's life. And if nothing else, it's just to be held accountable and to talk to this community who is obviously this happens time and time again. So a community is always affected and they protest and they march and different things like that. But for that officer to go to that community and truly apologize, I mean, for sure in private, talking to the family and everything, but you also owe it to that community.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I made that case back in my hometown. I said, you would alter the entire, what's the word I'm looking for? The nucleus of the entire community, if you would just come out and say, we got this one wrong. One police chief come to the podium and go, we screwed up on this one. But you know why they won't do that? They'll see it as an admittance of guilt, first of all, which they can never do. And the second reason, we live in a litigious society. There will be lawyers with their ballpoint pens going, oh, he said this, and he said he did this. Oh, that's a check. But what I tell cops are, y'all gonna write that check anyway. The city is going to pay that family a big multi-million-dollar check anyway. So why not just come out and go, we could have done this one better. We shot too soon. He was a kid. We probably could have de-escalated the situation. Instead, we chased him down and shot him. Could have done better. You heal a community immediately when you do that. We've never seen the police department do it.
I don't even know that it's necessary to I hear your point in that saying we got this one wrong. You know, I hear that. But that opens up too many doors, and I think that it will cause for the community to be like, well, who else in this, like, let's date this all the way back. Let's open up all your cases. Maybe you got those wrong as well. So that sort of admittance, I think, is a little bit tough. But even just to say, I'm sorry for it, even if that cop still feels like he had a right to do, or he did feel like his life was in danger or whatever, just to apologize.
We can hope and pray. From your lips to God's ears.
Yep.
News and traffic now. Raw report on the other side. Danny Mo Show. Stay there.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Senate is passing a landmark same-sex marriage bill. The Respect for Marriage Act was passed on Tuesday afternoon when 12 Republican senators voted along with Democrats to advance the bill, which recognizes gay marriage nationwide. Home prices fell in September compared to what they were in August. That's according to the latest reading from the S&P CoreLogic